Hello and welcome to my very first knitting and crochet podcast. So I haven't done one of these videos before, but I am super excited to give it a go because I love watching them. I just find them so relaxing and just such a nice thing to have on when I'm working on projects. And I always get some inspiration from what other people are making too. So I thought maybe I would let you know some of the things I've been working on and finishing off, and you might like it, maybe. So I'm going to try and follow the traditional kind of format of these knitting and crochet podcasts in that I'll talk about my finished projects, my works in progress, and I'll talk a little bit about some projects I've got coming up that I am very excited about. But before we get into that, I want to talk about my outfit of the day. I am wearing my Timothée Chalamet inspired cardigan because I watched A Complete Unknown last night and I absolutely loved it. So I woke up with Chalamet on the brain. And yeah, I thought this would be a good one to put on. Also, this will have something to do with something I'm going to show you later in the video too, so it kind of makes sense. But I made this cardigan probably almost a year ago now, and it was because I saw Timothée Chalamet wearing a cardigan by Cactus Plant Flea Market, and it was obviously crochet, and I fell in love with it. I thought it was so good, so I thought it would be fun to go on a massive deep dive and figure out how to make it. It was one of the funnest projects I worked on last year. I really loved it and it turned out really good. So yeah, I just thought I'd put it on today and show it off. But every time I put this cardigan on, I'm reminded of the fact that in the video I made about the process of making it, I think at the end I put something about how I was thinking of making a pattern for it, and if anyone was interested, let me know. But yeah, it's been a year and I haven't made the pattern yet, but people keep reminding me to maybe make the pattern, so I think, yeah, maybe I should get onto that. I'm a little reluctant to make and release patterns, but that's a whole nother issue. But yeah, every time I put it on, I'm reminded of that. So anyway, on with the show. So first up, I'm going to talk a little bit about my finished objects. And last month I got addicted to knitting the Rybka pouch. I could not stop. It was so fun. So it's a knitting pattern by Rat and Sea Witch. It's just for a little cute fish pouch that you can put your little bits and bobs in. It's great for like your AirPods or other things that you carry around with you. Anyway, it was a super fun project. I'd been seeing it around on Pinterest and other people's videos and things like that, and I talked about it a bunch, but I hadn't made it yet, so I thought I would get into it. This was before Easter. So one of the things I really loved about working on this project was how quick it was, but also how much variety there was in the pattern. So for a pretty quick project, you sort of work through some stocking net, some garter stitch, you do a fun ribbing for the tail, and yeah, there was just so many different things to do. Also stitching it together at the end and putting the eye on and making the cord. It was just a really fun project, like as opposed to like a massive stockinette jumper where you're constantly just doing the same thing over and over and over again. In a 2.5 hour period, you're doing heaps of different things, which is really fun. So I ended up making 6 of these and a few other half ones, but I had such a fun time doing it. So this is the first one I made. It's exactly to the pattern specifications and it turned out perfectly. I love it. So I used some hand-dyed sock yarn, which is a 4-ply, and a strand of 2-ply mohair, which is what the pattern calls for, and it honestly turns out so good, especially with the variegated yarn. It just makes it look really nice and fishy and beautiful, and I love it. And then I made another 2. I've already given them away as presents, but one of them was in this orange color where I used a strand of red mohair with a strand of orange 5-ply. That worked really well because it created a really nice sort of patterning on the fish. It kind of brought out the shape of the stitches a little bit more, which made it look a bit more like fish scales, which I think worked really well. And then the other one I did was in this sort of green colorway, which is really lovely and soft. I really like this one. But these ones were sort of pattern modifications I had a go at. So this was like a small one I tried doing with eyelets for the closure sort of mouth section instead of the cord casing. And this one was just a bit of a weird one. It's knit in the round and it's got these funny stripes on it. I don't know, this guy's weird, but I love him. The last one I did, and I think is my favorite, I strung some sequins onto the mohair before I started knitting, and I just knit these through the whole project on the front and the back, and it looks so fishy and so beautiful, and It just adds so much fun, sparkle and texture, and it's great on a small project too, especially an accessory. I think, yeah, it just works really well. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for the Rybka pouch. Absolutely had the best time making these guys, and I'll definitely be making more as the year goes on, I reckon. But I was so hooked on making these fish last month that I didn't actually get anything else finished. I worked on a few other things, but yeah, these were my primary focus. But I thought I could show you a few of the other things I have made in the sort of recent past, seeing as this is my first podcast episode. So I did the Sophie scarf, just like everyone else, fun, fun, fun. But it's just gotten sort of cold enough here in Melbourne to start wearing them, which is amazing because now I sort of understand how good they are because it's just the most practical little scarf you could ever hope for. So I made this one out of an alpaca. I really love the shade of blue. I think it's just beautiful and perfect. And I also made a red one. I forgot to bring it here. It's in my work bag because it's just the perfect size to keep in your work bag. So you can just take it around with you as opposed to like a really big chunky scarf, which you've got to sort of make an effort to lug around. These are perfect because they fit in your bag, but also they keep you really snug and warm, which is great. So yeah, I really loved making the Sophie scarf. I also did the Sophie hood. I found the hood to be a really fun project. There was a little bit more complexity with the shaping of the hood. So it was just a bit nice to have a project that was just a little bit more detailed than the Sophie scarf because this was really a very easy, quick make. I think this one took 6 or 7 hours, and then the hooded scarf, because it's quite huge actually, I probably didn't need to make it this big. This one took 18 or so hours, which is a pretty long time for a project, but I think, I haven't worn this one yet, but I think it'll come into play when it's a lot more colder because it's so thick and warm. So for this one I used an 8-ply wool with a 2-ply mohair. So the wool was from the Bendigo Woolen Mills, which is great. I love their wool. And the mohair was Sandness Yarn, alpaca, something or other. Tin silk mohair, that's the one. But that was really good too. I really like how those two worked up together. It just made it really nice and soft and sort of cozy, which will be perfect when it gets really cold. And that's it for the things I finished. I mean, it's not a huge amount, but like I said, I got addicted to making fish and I couldn't work on anything else, but I think that's fun. So moving on to my works in progress, and I've got a couple things on the go. So I do have a few little half fish done that I just want to finish off. So these are both little size ones. I actually ran out of the green sock yarn that was in this, so I might get some more to finish it off, or maybe I'll do like a half fish with one colour on one side and one on the other. And then I've got this little blue and green one, which I think, in my mind, I thought it was going to work out really fun by mixing a blue sock yarn with the green mohair, but I feel like it turned out looking a bit sort of swampy, like the fish is covered in algae or something like that. But my friend saw this and said that it was her favourite one. So I'll finish this one off for her. I'm going to add some sequins as well to it, which I think will be extra cute. And then the next project I've been working on, I haven't got much work done on it, is the Make Myself Flowers vest by Vexnot Studios. And it's looking amazing. It's going really well. I did a bit of work on this over the weekend and I was just having such a fun time with it. So this one I actually started as part of a knit along for Kylan's Yarn Over Everything spring knit along. So everyone was making this vest and it was really fun. I think a lot of people in the group have already finished their vests. I'm definitely going a lot slower, but I think I really just wanted to have a project that I could work on at a slower pace because I quite often am just starting and finishing a project within a week or two and making a video about it and just sort of working on one thing at a time. But it's nice having something just sitting there that I can pick up from time to time in between other projects. I really enjoy having a couple things on the go, which is fun. I didn't think I would like that, but I do. But the vest is going really well. I started with the back panel because I haven't done intarsia before and I thought if I'm going to mess up anything and if it's going to look a bit weird, it's better to be on the back than on the front. But it's going pretty well. I think it's fairly neat until you turn it around to the back, in which case it looks like a horrific mess. But yeah, the intarsia side of things is really fun. It it gets a bit frustrating from time to time depending on how many bobbins you've got going in a certain row. So there was some sections in this back panel where I had maybe 10 or 12 bobbins on the go at once. I'm in a section at the moment where it's a lot more calm and there's just a few bobbins, which is a lot more manageable. But yeah, if you don't like untangling yarn, maybe this sort of thing wouldn't be your favorite, but I'm just really impressed with how good it's looking. So for the yarn for this one, I'm using the Morrison Sons Estate 8 ply, which is 100% wool mixed with the Rowan Kid Silk Haze in the black and then the white versions for the inside, for the flower sections. And it works so good. It's so soft. It's turned out even softer than this one. And I think that's down to mostly the Rowan. I just feel like this is such a soft mohair. I absolutely love it. So it's working out really soft. It's quite fuzzy, which I think should be fun for a vest. And yeah, it works out really quickly because it's on 6mm needles. So it does feel like, even though it's a little bit complicated working with the intarsia, I think each row is taking probably about 10 minutes at the moment. So all up, I'm at about maybe 8 hours of work to get to this point. I have been timing it, I just don't have my notes on me. But yeah, it does feel like it's going pretty quick. Like when you sit down to have a little sort of couple hours knitting, you feel like you end up with a fair bit sort of being made in that time period. And you just get to see how the flowers grow as you're making the vest, which I think is a really fun part of doing something with pattern. Is like seeing how the pattern turns out. On that note though, I haven't been the best about following the chart to the letter. I sometimes will mess up a little bit here and there, so my flowers have turned out slightly wonkier than what they're supposed to, but I'm not worried about that at all. But the knit along for this finishes, I think, on the 19th of June, so I'm going to try and get it done by then. And then I can have all winter wearing it, which I think will be perfect because it's going to be really cozy. And then the other thing I've been working on this month is a crochet project matching this cardigan. I thought I would make a mini skirt, which I reckon is going to be really fun because I feel like this cardigan's just so fun and intense. Like I kind of just want to make like a whole outfit and have a matching skirt to go with it because I think that would look really maybe good, but yeah, maybe a lot, who knows. I'm doing it in 2 panels and keeping the same sort of trim down the edges like I did in the seams of the cardigan, so that way it'll kind of all match up down the sides, and it's just a nice sort of little design detail that I think works really well. I'm finding it really fun working on this one because I love this crochet pattern of doing the double crochets with the single crochet rows. I find, and doing every row a different color too, I just find like it's a little dopamine project, I think, because you're always so excited to get to the next row and the next color, and it works out pretty quickly too, obviously, because it's crochet and I'm just way speedier at crochet than knitting. But I'm loving how it's turning out, so I've just got to stitch it up at the sides and at a waistband, and then it'll all be done, which will be really fun. I have been making a video about the process of making this skirt, but more like a kind of intro into how you can draft your own patterns for making crochet skirts, because I don't know, with crochet, I always just really like drafting my own patterns because I find it really fun. And I think it's really accessible way to learn pattern drafting is through crochet, and especially something simple like doing skirts. So I thought that could be a good little sort of tutorial video for people that might be interested in making their own patterns. But these are the only things I've got going on at the moment, and I think I'll be finished with this skirt really soon. And this one, yeah, I'll probably take the next couple of weeks working on. But this one, even though it's super fun, I find it's not what I want to pick up all the time just because of the intarsia and the bobbins. I think I really want a project on the go which is just super mindless and that I can just do while watching telly and just tune out and not have to think about anything, not have to reference a chart when I'm doing it, stuff like that. So that brings me to future plans. And I've got a ton of things I want to be making at the moment because, like I said, it's winter now in Melbourne, so it's prime crafting season. So I've just got so many things in my mind that I want to do, but I thought for a quick, mindless, fun project, I might go back to the Sophie zone, and because I've made the scarf and the hood already, I thought I would do the shawl so I can sort of round out the collection and just tick that off as well. So when I made this hood, I actually got yarn for a red color version of it too. So I got this one, I think it's called Love Heart. It's the luxury 8-ply from Bendigo Woolen Mills. Super nice, super soft, beautiful. It's just a classic red color, which I think is really nice. And I've got this Sand Nest Garn tin silk mohair as well. I've got 2 balls of that. I use some of that for my fish, so I don't have exactly a full ball of this, but I think it should be about 400 meters, and this ball's 400 meters. So I'm thinking with this, I could just make a Sophie shawl that just uses all this yarn up. I don't want it to be a huge shawl because I feel like this one is my big scarf for winter. I think I'd like something sort of in between that maybe isn't too big. But I like the idea of having a shawl or a more sort of triangular shaped scarf for winter that can also sort of double as a hood, or you can wrap it around from the front to the back or the back to the front and just keep you all nice and cozy. But I thought that could be a good, fun, sort of mindless project to work on while I finish off the more complicated other knitting project I've got on the go. So I think that'll take me to the end of the month, and then I'll come back and show you, hopefully in podcast number 2, what I finished and what I'm going to work on next. Also, in fun news, I bought a spinning wheel this week, which is really exciting because I used to have one and I absolutely loved it, but I got rid of it because I was sort of just trying to clear out some stuff, and I instantly regretted it and always just wanted to get another one. So I happened upon a really cute one, just like my old one, so I picked that up. It was from the Spinners and Weavers Guild in Melbourne. They were having like a sale day, which was really fun to go to. If you're in Melbourne, you should check them out because they do amazing work there. So I'm very excited about my spinning wheel. I'm excited about all these projects that I've got going on. And I'm also excited that it's winter time in Melbourne, which is amazing because I feel like our summer went for forever and I am sick of that. So I'm very excited about the cold weather, getting all snuggly and crafty for winter. Most people watching this, I think, are from the Northern Hemisphere, so I hope you're enjoying your summertime fun. But for me, I am very excited for some winter crafting. But I would love to know what you've been working on, so if you've got a fun project on the go, leave me a comment below and let me know what it is. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I had a really fun time sort of just telling you all my projects. Hopefully it was fun to watch, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.